Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss the rise of the novels. Let's have a look at the previous year question that have been asked from this topic. Trace the distinctive literary qualities of 18th century English novel. So let's look at potential themes that could be asked from this topic, which are factors that led to the rise of novels and characteristics of novels of the 18th century. These both can be used interchangeably. You just have to adjust them according to the question that is asked. So, rise of the novels. English novel took birth in 16th and 17th century and today are the only piece of literature that can compete with the visual mode of entertainment. Richardson, Smollett, Fielding and Sterne are the four wheels of novel who popularized the novels. Now the factors responsible for the rise of the novels along with their characteristics are rise of middle class. Because of increased trade and commerce in 16th and 17th century, along with the greater cultural exchanges, finally led to the rise of middle class in 18th century England. The growing merchant class was becoming wealthy and new rich class wanted to excel in literature as well. So, they wanted to develop a literature which was as per their tastes and aspirations. Therefore, novel popularized as the taste of middle class was changing as they were not interested in upper class dramas and tragedies. Another feature of novel was people's interest in reading real stories about the real situations of society rather than over romanticized or over optimistic and over imaginatory things. Thus, realism became one of the factors and characteristics of novels of 18th century. Now, because of popularization of printing press, newspapers and magazines had become popular and they started printing chapters of novels weekly or monthly. And the next part of the novels were written or framed as per the likings and feedback from the audiences. So people were more keen to read and give their reviews. Increased role of women in public life as some of the upper and middle class women were now literate and could participate in few activities of men as well. So they did like to spend their leisure time in reading novels. Drama in 18th century lost its former glory as it had during Elizabethan age because of the unrelatability factor in the growing middle class, and something has to replace its popularity, which happened to be by novels. Now, experimental role of women and men to test creative appeal from the audiences, along with developing relatable connection to the audiences, attracted more public to reading more novels. For example, Sophia and Tom Jones decided not to marry Tom's cousin, even though he was financially more stable than Tom, as it wasn't very common in 18th century when financial security used to be the most important reason for marriage. So, new experiments, new characters, and new plots were introduced to test what audiences liked the most. New discoveries and experimentation also motivated and were mentioned in the novels. For example, in Gulliver's Travel, voyages to different countries, production and use of weapons were mentioned. Slave trade was also mentioned in the adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Example of the novels from 18th century are Henry Fielding's Tom Jones. So this was everything that you need to know about novels. We shall discuss the new topic in the following video, so stay tuned.